For part 6, you will be repeating rounds 27 through 34. So that's the last part of part 4. You will be repeating those rounds, as well as the part 5 section, rounds 35 to 41. So as you're working that, the only thing that changes from those rounds is the number of half double crochet that we have in between our petals. So to get started on this, you're going to want to find where you will start your new petal. So I counted the double crochet that we worked in row 43 and found the middle stitch. So we had 19 double crochet. We will be using the middle stitch for our petal plus 2 on either side that we skip. So I have subtracted those 5 stitches from our total of 19, which left 14 stitches, and divided that by 2. So we have 7 of these double crochet. So here's where I have my last set of 2 double crochet in the same stitch. So we would have 7 double crochet, 2, 4, 6, 7, skip 2, and our center stitch will be marked there, skip 2, and then we have 2, 4, 6, 7 stitches on that side. So a total of 9 stitches on either side of our center stitch. And that is where we will place the 7 double crochet to start our new petal. And you can see how that lines up with the 7 double crochet from part 4. So then once you have finished to the end of round 51, you will do the same thing. You will count how many half double crochet you have there to find your center stitch for the next new petal, which again will line up with this petal. So you can go ahead and work those 2 sections. So remembering you're repeating what is my gray section here and the section from part 5. The final round for part 6 is labeled in your written pattern round 58. Round 58 with clear instructions where how many double crochets are in between the sets of 2 double crochet. So you can follow that carefully to do that last round of round 58. If you wish to make your blanket even larger, you will repeat those rounds again. So you will, for part 6, you will have done this last part of part 4 and part 5, and you could repeat those 2 parts one more time to have an even larger blanket. Whenever you choose to finish, there's an option for the last section of the 8 rounds. So again, you can see from this sample picture how the last round has 2 petals in between the petals from the previous round. So I'm going to show you how to mark and prepare for those petals for the last section if you wish to add that to your blanket. You will also notice on those last sections how the designer used all 4 of her colors, 2 rounds of each, to complete that. So that's another option you can choose to use if you wish as well for this last part. So to work this optional ending with the 2 petals between each of the previous petals, you need to make sure that you are working with sets of 29 stitches. It can be more than the 29, but that's the minimum. So the first place you could do this is at the end of part 5. So what I have done is I have our starting point on the top of that peak. I have marked the middle stitch of the next petal. Then I've taken those 29 stitches and marked the middle stitch of each of those, and that is where our new petal will be starting. And this is just the end of my first set of 29 stitches. So you can sort of see how those stitch markers line up with our previous row. So we would start with our back post slip stitch chain 2, and then we would back post half double crochet around each of the stitches until we get to that stitch, until we get to 2 stitches before that next marked stitch. So for my example, I have my starting stitch and I made 11 more back post half double crochet, so a total of 12 back post half double crochet. Then we'll skip those next 2 stitches and work 7 double crochet in that next stitch as the start of one of the petals for this side. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we'll skip 2 and we'll want to work the same number of back post half double crochet on this side of the petal. So for me, that's 12 I'm going to make. So those 12 back post half double crochet took me to that last stitch just before my next marker, and that's exactly where I want to be to start my next set of 29 stitches for this next petal. So then we'll work that again for our second set. So for me, it's 12 back post half. 1, 2, 3. So when I have finished my 12 back post half double crochet, I have 2 stitches left, and then ready to work that 7 double crochet into that marked stitch for the second petal. Three, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Skip the 2 stitches past that petal and work another set of back post half double crochet to match the same number. So for me, it will be 12. 3, and after those back post half, it will take me to right before my next marker, which should be the start of the next set for the petals to work around. So hopefully that gives you enough help to get started on this section if you're going to use those 2 petals on the side for your finishing rounds. Then you will just follow our other patterns of how we have worked the back post double crochet around these peaks or these petals, remembering to skip 2 back post half after each of the petals and before the next petal as you work your back post half double crochet in between the 2 petals. And that is the end of our journey together with As Sweet As. Can't wait to see your lovely projects. Thanks again to our wonderful designer for another fun project to work on. Take care.